hooking up with our head of sports, Emmanuel Etim, all the way from Cameroon, to give us a recap of round of 16 and also letting us know what it feels like out there in Cameroon as we build up for the next round of matches. Australian Open is part of the conversation tonight because it's looking like Novak Djokovic being out of the tournament is a blessing in disguise for another person. We'll be letting you in on that conversation as well. Former Chelsea manager Frank Lampard is in the news tonight, and for those of you who happen to be Frank Lampard fans, you need to stick around to find out what we'll be talking about Frank Lampard on the show tonight as well. My name remains Sarafina Napoleon Finafire for short, and I've got this young man, Chidebere Anugolude. I don't know if the person here is a spirit version or the mortar version. I would allow him tell me which of the version is on the show tonight.
Safina, I came to this show and I just came to relax on this show today. I don't want troubles. I don't want to make issues with you and your supposed boyfriend who you're controlling. I don't want issues with the elder overdose.
Where is this one coming from?
I just want to have a good show today.
So what is my relationship doing?
Please Safina, don't antagonize me.
What's the correlation? I'm struggling to understand now. I introduced you on the show and you're like, you don't want troubles with me. I understand. I understood that part, but you saying you don't want troubles with my boyfriend, I don't understand.
No,
where is that coming from?
It's not your boyfriend. It's the person. It's the boy you're controlling. And if he's here, I would say.
Where is that coming from, Chidi?
Look, Safina,
Chidi, where is that? Do you want us to watch a dirty thing?
I've been on this Friday show.
No, do you want us to expose ourselves on this show right now? Because I've got time for you now.
Expose?
Yes.
I mean, I don't have anything to hide. So
are you being serious now?
Why would you?
Are you now? He's beginning to laugh. Those funny kind. You're beginning to laugh sheepishly right now. Tell me.
I'm not a sheep.
I'm not saying you're a sheep. I say you're laughing sheepishly. That's what
I'm saying I'm not. Anyways, look, Safina, you introduced me to this show, and I like from what the stats say, everyone who is tuning into this show right now just wants to hear the AZM of sports speak. The hardest working man in sport, even the spirit amongst men, and they want to hear me speak, and I'm here speaking. So enjoy my presence while you can, because you might not have the luxury of having the AZM on a Friday show anymore, because I'm having conversations, and things might change very soon.
Okay, you're having conversations with who? I need to be sure.
Management.
With management, okay. And this young man just walked.
Well, you're not in that meeting.
And this young man just walked into the studio like someone who's been chased by something. Anthony the voice. What's up?
Safina,
I'm not talking to obvious. You. Tony is around now.
Silence.
For your boy.
Tony is around now. Hi, Tony. What's up?
Silence. I mean, I'm great, Safina.
Smell good.
I mean, it's well. Thank you. let me not go to what I have to say, but yeah, great to be here. Do
you want to leave this studio now because you're looking? Now you're beginning to feel like something is wrong. Are you okay?
No.
You're looking like someone who's under pressure. Are you fine?
Feel like that the AZM is intimidated. Where the soup Tony is enjoying. I've eaten it and I've thrown all the plates.
Lord have mercy.
I've thrown all the plates in the debt. So I don't know. Listen, nothing is freakish. It's not freakish.
It doesn't matter.
Are you sure?
It's not.
Yes, you asked me earlier on saying we should go hang out somewhere after the show. Have you forgot?
I've never asked you. We've never hung out together.
Are you serious?
I've never hung out with you. I've never asked you to hang out.
Are you really serious?
How many times have you spoken to her about clubbing? Yeah, Chidi, you need to respect yourself.
Tony is fine. It's fine. Let him be. Just let him.
I have a problem with you, Tony.
You're beginning to lose your.
Tony, you're wearing a chain, and you're wearing the voice.
I'm not wearing a chain. This is a necklace. It's not a chain.
It's a chain.
No.
Please, if you are watching, we're streaming on Facebook. What is Tony wearing?
It is, or you call it a neck piece. Gone are the days you refer this as chain. Chain is ambiguous. That word is ambiguous. So you say you're wearing
Tony,
a neck
you're
piece.
wearing a chain.
I'm not wearing.
And now I see why Safina is high. She's controlling you, and now she's holding you.
Lord,
if you're watching on Facebook,
I am not wearing a chain.
Ignore
I'm wearing a neck piece.
This young man with plenty hair, come over. What are you searching for?
I respect you, Tony.
I have lost my respect.
Do you know why I respect you? Do you know why I respect you? Can I finish? I respect it because look, you're a professional. You come in here, you do a top job on the radio with commentaries and presentation. And I feel for you, Tony.
You feel for me? Why?
I respect you. I feel for you. It's a bit of a contrast, but I feel for you. What Safina will use you to do ngwangwa. There's something called ngwangwa. She will use you like abacha.
You just want to spoil me.
We have been there, Chidi.
Anyway, you guys are not important. The professor is around.
Anyway, time to welcome this young man. And trust me, Sam, you look like a professor right
Hello,
now.
professor.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
All right.
Welcome, sir.
your Googles.
Good evening, Sarafina. Good evening.
You walked into the studio late. What happened?
Samuel, no, Samuel, you don't have to explain why you're walking into the studio late.
Samuel, can you talk to me?
You're
please?
welcome to this show, Samuel.
Can you talk to me, please, Samuel?
Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Well, good to be here, Sarafina.
Samuel, you don't owe anybody any explanation.
No, Chidi.
You can. The ASM the hardest social is
Now they come back.
Come into the show whenever you want to come.
Who will you respond to?
Anyway, Sam has been enjoying himself. I left him in the sport office. He's been enjoying himself with that Daisy Michael.
Hey!
You needed to see the love. You guys needed to see the love. Now, when I saw them, when I saw them, Chidi, let me just tell you, when I saw them, the way I saw them,
It's finished.
the first thing that came to mind, I said, no
Is it
wonder
the position?
someone, not the position, in a very
Compromising.
enticing position.
Compromising
And my
position.
mind just went
Did
back
you
to
take
that,
pictures?
to that message where somebody said, when Adese said, you're the number one wife. I said, now I understand where.
What did you say again?
She said she's Samuel's number one wife.
Hey!
In Lagos.
Kandrabaya.
So my mind went back and I'm like, okay, then
And Samuel is blushing. I'm ashamed of you, Samuel. I'm ashamed to make you. Samuel, I brought you to this funny show to rekindle your career. Your career was dying. You were nobody. No. For real, Samuel. No, I'm angry. Safina, look, I respect you. The people is the one.
We've got a wedding to plan.
I brought someone on this show. Do you know? Someone came to meet me, and someone said, "Ezemo, please.
I want to
I know
revive
your
my
career is flying. I want to join you and tap into your anointing.
Well,
Come on the Friday show. Because when people listen to the Friday show, listen to the Ezemo of Sports. I said, Samuel, what I'm going to do for you, nobody has ever done it for you. I'm going to bring you on the Friday show, and I made a call. Look at the missed call. Look at the call. I made a call to Emmanuel. I said, Emmanuel,
I'm with you on
I
this
know
one.
you're my boss, but look, I'm not even telling you as a subordinate. I'm telling you as a man. And I said, Emmanuel,
The eyes of the God.
please bring Samuel on this Friday show, because I need to rekindle his career. I know when Samuel joined this company, Samuel, you're not important in this company. Do you know that?
As much as I am indebted to you.
No, so wait, Samuel. So I brought
No.
Let me finish.
Sam talk.
You were.
You're fooling woman. Die. You're fooling woman. You this boy.
Yes.
This boy.
But honestly, so when I saw it, I was shocked. I'm
You
like,
decided to
Sam.
change
I cannot bring on the
career.
Friday show. You're following. And there's my
They
myself.
literally had dinner together.
Hey!
in the
Like-
office.
Hey!
You know that's against office rule.
Hey,
No,
look what happening?
you don't understand. Let me paint a better picture for you as the color commentator that I am. Let me paint a better picture
Please
for
paint
you.
it like.
They went out to go get the items themselves.
Wow.
Both of them.
Wow.
Walked into the premises looking all happy, like
And
you know,
loved up.
loved up. You know that kind
Companionship
of
101.
man. When you look at it, you'll be like, yeah, this is a good relationship.
Wow.
If you're listening to this show, if you're listening to this show right now,
and I could get into trouble.
if you're listening to this show right now, I'm sorry to announce that Samuel, this is going to be your last Friday show. I don't care about your career again. Actually, let's fire catch it.
Can I explain?
Let's fire catch it.
Samuel, you
If you want to get bored, let's get bored.
Congratulations.
You of all people.
You know
should know-
I'm good with planning things.
Yeah, you of all people should know the real story.
Oh.
I mean, all of this is.
Wait, were you guys not together?
I'm not denying. I mean, when someone offers you a chance to go out and grab a bite, what do you expect me to
Grab
do?
a
Turn it
bite.
down?
Oh, Nyano.
Adese is a.
That's how it
That's the
starts.
right of Adese.
Adese is a
No.
colleague,
You just said
friend.
it.
Hey!
Hold on, she's our colleague. She's a friend. We're all colleagues.
Eh?
And today
The
was
position I saw you.
which position?
You were sitting
Which
close to
position?
her.
I was
Very
sitting
close.
I was sitting on her desk.
Hey!
On a
On a desk.
office mic. This guy go talk another thing now. On a desk. Next time he's on a lap. Please off this mic. This boy, your career is finished.
Okay. Anyways, congratulations. We've got a wedding to plan. So
and this is your final. Please, enjoy yourself. This is your final Friday show. You will say, no, you think I don't have power in this. Do you know I just came out of a meeting with HR?
I know you.
Do you know that?
I know you.
To
I know
decide
you.
your future, right?
My future
So let's
was
talk
decided
about
a long time ago.
Let's talk about the AFCON. The round of 16 games at the AFCON ended on Wednesday, and a total of 7 red cards were issued in 8 games, which have led to questions about the quality of officiating at the tournament.
Can you imagine this boy?
Can you?
I'm still paying.
At the tournament, ignore him, please. At the tournament now, fans angrily took to social media after the Cape Verde's last 16 defeat to Senegal was overshadowed by the fact that they were reduced to 9 men. So earlier today, CAF and FIFA referee instructor Mohamed Aminu, in an exclusive chat with Nigeria Info, spoke on the rules of the game and the reason, and also cited an instance of Iwobi's red card. He went on to say part of the problem we are facing at this point is down to the fact that many of the players are not up to date with the rules and the offenses when you talk about football competition. Let's hear from him.
I think one of the major problems we have is that we are not updating our knowledge of the laws of the game. And people don't ask themselves fundamental questions. For a referee, he tries to ask himself some fundamental questions, especially when 2 people used to challenge for the ball. Is there a contact? If there is contact, is the contact legal or illegal? If it is legal, no foul. If it is illegal, what is the severity of the contact? Is it careless, reckless, or use of excessive force? Now, most people don't even know the process of evaluating challenges. Some people will even tell you cannot be given a direct red card. There are red card offenses. There are offenses that are slight touch, but they have implications, impact on the game. Either they stop a promising attack, which is cautionable, or they deny an obvious goal scoring opportunity, which is a red card offense. When it comes to issue of serious foul play, which is use of excessive force, is there a contact? Which part of the body did the player who committed the offense used? If he used the body of the leg, the impact is less. If he used the stud, the impact is higher. Where did he contact? Is it a place that is sensitive? If a player used the stud to match the toe or the top of the foot, while the leg has already touched the ground, while his own leg has touched the ground before he touched the leg of the opponent, the ground have absorbed the impact before he touched. But if the leg went straight to touch the top of the leg or the ankle of an opponent, it's a different situation entirely. That one is a red card straight.
And he also spoke on the issue of referees and the use of VAR. Remember that many of the red cards have been awarded after the fact that following the use of the video assistant referee. Let's hear from him on the VAR.
On the issue of the VAR, majority of those who handle the VAR, who are VAR in this tournament, are either from Europe or assisted by those who are Africans who have been to the World Cup as VAR. So there's no issue of inexperience. It is not those in the VAR that takes decisions on terms of the referee. They see and they notify this referee, please delay the game, take a second look. Now they are not giving the referee a one-side view. They are giving him multiple sides, so he can see the impact very well. And the referee has what we call considerations. We have a list of considerations that the referee will go through that knows. And it is those considerations that he applies to pass a final judgment. Was there a contact? Yes. Did the contact, the weight part of the leg, did the player use touch? What is the intensity? That means the distance, the speed. All this the referee takes into consideration.
And the question I'm asking you tonight for the next 10-15 minutes is, has CAF done enough when it comes to officiating, or are the players and coaches bereft of modern rules of the game? 0700 993 993 993 for the ladies, 0146 57190. I'll come to you, Chidi. What do you think? Has CAF done enough, or is just a case of the coaches and players not being up to date with the modern rules?
Are you talking about the this thing so far, the officiating?
Have you been listening?
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening. Been talking about Alex Iwobi. I don't about the the situation.
Samuel,
why are you guys laughing?
Samuel,
This guy Allah.
Samuel, let me
This guy Allah.
No. Why are you guys laughing?
You're a gunner.
Because the man was talking about his stamp on the whole box.
You just
It's
missed
time
your
for you to
penalty.
leave this
No,
show.
you can't talk to the
No, I will not take it.
You can't talk to more like that.
Samuel,
I like that. No.
Can you come back to me?
do you think
Safina, can you-
CAF has done enough, or is it when you talk about officiating?
Oh, you see him now. Now you didn't even get the question for someone.
Can you imagine?
They're a very biased
Can
teacher.
you imagine? Samuel, talk to me.
I think in all honesty, I think the rules were spelled out before the start of the tournament. Players, managers, coaches, they all knew what amounts to a red card, what amounts to possible booking and all that. What I would say the problem has been a clear definition on the part or interpretation on the part of the officials as to what amounts to what. And if you go back to the rules of the game, there's always been that conversation as to the rules of the game being different from what it is. I think maybe a little bit could have been done in terms of expatiating on these rules as to what the game is and how it is in modern day. But if you ask me on a scale of 1 to 10, has the officiating been good? I would say yes. There's been incidences where you could question these decisions. I think it was the game last week Sunday between Morocco. I can't remember, but myself and Adeze won that game. One of the first of the quarterfinal, the second round tie.
Burkina Faso,
Gabon. Yes, it was that sort of game. I think we had about 10 bookings, 10 cautions, no red card. But you could see how card happy the referee was in terms of dishing out that one. So there's those sort of situation that portends a possible trouble, but I don't think you can lay that holistically at the feet of CAF. They've done their business in saying what the rules will be, what amounts to what, but the players haven't necessarily been a bit, careful with the tackling, with all of those decisions in play. And we can understand why it's a game of football. There's this hunger to win and all that, but really, Sarafina, if you ask me, I don't think there's any blame to throw at the feet of CAF.
Okay, Tony, he spoke on the incident that got Alex Iwobi sent off.
Yeah.
Let's hear from him.
Iwobi's case. The distance was not far. Iwobi has control of the game, of the ball. He has no business lifting that leg above the leg. Then secondly, look at Iwobi's leg. You can have an access to that match. Look at the leg. The leg was folded, and at the point of touch, it stretched. So this is what intensity. You understand? Where did he touch? The ankle of the opponent. Where did he use? The start. Red card.
Well. I mean, if we spoke, during that time, I had no, a doubt that was a red card. It was a red card, away from the intensity, the part of the body which that challenge went on, and it was clearly the stud on his ankle. Most often than not, that's a red card situation. But then, questions about what's his name now? Msakni, did he exaggerate the eventual contact? I mean, North Africans, sometimes they always have a way of taking advantage of everything. So, but yeah, that was a red card. Back to your question. Do I think Africa is doing enough? I don't think so. And listen, nobody can come and tell me that the officiating at AFCON have been covered in glory. Nah. I mean,
so you disagree with Samuel?
Absolutely. Now, yeah, I mean, I can agree that there were some issues. There were some, red cards that were actually worth it. There were some that were a bit harsh, And then what do you say about the Sikazwe situation? What do you say about the red card given to the goalkeeper of Cape Verde after that clash with Sadio Mane?
Clash, yeah.
I mean, listen, we can go on and highlight some really poor calls coming from the central referees. I mean, they made it a red card party. We've seen several of those challenges. Listen, I'm not encouraging, lack of fair play or rough play or just, careless tackles. But what I'm saying is we're watching football not just in Africa, in other places, in Spain, in Italy, in England. I mean, and we see some of the tackles, that came in and were red carded in the AFCON. You barely see this kind of the irregularity in the EPL. And
we've seen worse cases in the Premier League.
No, I don't think so.
Tony,
Anthony Dinwaka. Chidi.
I'm not going to sit here. Look. As the SM of sports and the custodian of tradition in this place right now, I'm not going to sit here and allow you run down African referees. I know I've tried.
I'm not running down African referees. Let's be guided. What I'm saying is,
we need to do better.
We're far from that. We're far from the top.
Incident with Sikazwe, like you mentioned, I don't think there's anything absolutely up there that we can say, okay,
How
this
about
is a major problem.
How about having
Like
a
you said,
referee
those are-
having to intercept play?
So,
You intercept play and you didn't call for a drop ball. You allow play to move on to the benefit of the opponent.
so here's the thing.
If Tunisia had scored, when he had that contact, what would you have said? I mean, they are basics that we expect from certain referees. We watch football in other places.
Maybe I'm just one person who thinks that that game between Comoros and Cameroon, the last minute attack from Comoros, it was obvious that something would have amounted to something. Yes, the referee gave an additional, I think, 3 minutes or so. That
6
was
minutes.
Or
5.
The
Sorry,
last
5 or 6.
attack from Comoros, and the referee blew the whistle.
But no, guys.
No. See, additional time says the minimum. It's not the maximum. We've seen the referee gives 3 minutes, but whenever there's an attack, he allows the attack.
Go to 5.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So long there's an attack, you allow.
There's a sporting rule that says at your discretion.
No.
That's
Sam.
There's
If
always-
you give 3 minutes, you can't blow the whistle before 3 minutes.
No, he blew the whistle exactly at the time.
At the time.
Then that's no issues.
But there was an attack.
No. It doesn't matter.
Many times.
It doesn't matter.
Many times.
It doesn't
But
matter.
the 3 minutes, it's minimum. It's not maximum. A minimum of 3 minutes.
That's why I say discretion comes into play. Another referee could allow it go, but this one decided to end it.
I'm going to give you an
That's what I'm
example.
saying.
I'm going to give you an example. I mean, there are rules to this thing. I mean, there are also rules to love and relationship. I remember when you were dying for me and.
Now,
no one gave you rules to love
for a
me.
break.
No, I need to
Stick around.
I have a
we'll be right
confession.
back.
I have a confession.
Guys,
see you. Turn on your camera.
Mon frère.
No, I'm not turning on my camera. No.
We're live streaming. Turn it on.
We need to see your face, boss.
Emmanuel.
Yeah, you can't see my face.
Emmanuel Etim.
Enjoy my voice.
Emmanuel Etim.
Yes, what? How you doing, Chief?
Yes, you know how important the Friday show is to me, right?
Lord.
Say that again.
You know how important this Friday show is to me, and to the ratings.
I do.
Yeah, please, Emmanuel. If you don't turn on your camera, Emmanuel, I can tell you to forfeit your next month's salary.
Well,
I want to forfeit.
I can give you that on come because I just finished my meeting with HR.
Who's HR?
How many HR we get? CWIA HR.
look, yeah,
How you guys doing?
we're doing great. We'll find out is what's the name of the place again? Douala, right?
Douala, yes.
Yeah, and we saw pictures. You've been enjoying Douala. Congratulations to you and the team. Great job you guys are doing, though.
Don't be me come out to Nigeria for competition. So
Now that you've mentioned, let's start off with Nigeria. Are you ready to talk about? Have you had the Super Eagles conversation since that shocking result?
I'm trying to see if I can. No. I mean, I'm still heartbroken. So I don't know. I don't know how it feels.
You don't know how it feels, or you don't want to talk about it.
Why do we want to go back to that thing? Let's look into the future.
No, because we're reviewing the round of 16 matches.
Nigeria don't follow round
Okay,
of 16.
all right. Let me see if I can.
Are you serious now? Are you high, Chidi? Nigeria not finished for round of 16.
Hi, Emmanuel. Shout out
Yes,
to
finally
you.
we can see you.
Yeah.
Shout out to you,
What's up,
Emmanuel.
guys? I don't know. How are you guys doing?
Hey,
We're fine, just that
Yeah,
you did not give us snacks for AFCON coverage.
You know, give us fish.
No, you guys.
We saw your escapades.
But it wasn't the escapade that begins with an S.
Can I tell you?
Emmanuel Montre
How you guys
Poisson.
doing?
We're fine.
Yeah.
Emmanuel, let's start off with the round of 16 matches. Which of all the results, which one would you look back and say this should be the most shocking of all of them?
The result?
Yeah.
The Tunisia game, of course. Tunisia were not supposed to beat Nigeria. That's it. And I'm not sounding as a Nigerian or one who's still hurting from that exit. Of all the round of 16 tie, that was not supposed to happen. And you could also throw in Equatorial Guinea beating Mali. That also wasn't supposed to happen. But they would take consolation on the fact that it got knocked out via penalties, which is, as they say, cliche, anybody's game. But Tunisia, Nigeria in Garoua, it was like losing at the National Stadium in Lagos back in 2000, because they've made that city their home. They were unarguably the best football team in the group stages, and that's why the troll on the Super Eagles side was mammoth. So that wasn't supposed to happen, but as they say, eventually did happen.
So a lot of people have been saying that the red card, the second booking offense for Iwobi, which got him sent off, that it should not. Yeah. That remember the referee initially gave him a yellow card, and went to check the VAR, came back and was like, no, that's not a yellow card. That should be a red card offense. Do you think that that sending off was spot on from the referee?
No, I didn't think it was spot on. I thought the referee was completely shite. Forgive my French. He underperformed. And again, I'll reiterate my points as one not speaking from the angle of knowing how to sing "Arise to compatriots," from one who saw the game and witnessed opinions from the Tribune. The call could have stayed at yellow. He didn't need to advance the color to red. It was unnecessary. And I was listening to Sam, speak about the unwritten rule, which is the part where referees use their discretion. But I just think the referees mostly at AFCON 2021 are super excited to always go to the VAR and just make those incredible points in like, penalty or red card. But I didn't think it would be deserved to be sent off. Yeah, yellow card could have sufficed. So it was a sort of situation where if you had shown just that yellow card without advancing it, there would not be controversies. But in the Nigerian game, the officiating went beyond it will be sending off. That was the tipping point that just exposed how awful that Senegalese, whom I refuse to remember his name, was.
Maguete.
Now you've mentioned him, yeah.
Now you just mentioned VAR, that they go look check the VAR, and the next thing they're pointing to the spot, or they're giving cards and the rest of it. Now, don't you think you're being a little bit unfair on the referees? And this is the reason why. When you go check the VAR, you get the opportunity to see it from different angles. You watching it on your screen, probably in your bedroom or in the studios, you don't have enough information in terms of seeing it from different angles like the referees. Don't you think those different angles help these referees make the decisions which they've made, the decisions we've seen from them all through this tournament?
That's a great point you've made. The advent of the video assistant referee was to help referees make almost perfect calls. But we've seen, and not just at the African Cup of Nations, but across football competitions, even the supposed most watched league, well, it is the most watched league, but supposed best league in the world, the Premier League, there still are controversial calls. And we're talking about referees who have been to the biggest stage, which is the FIFA World Cup. Not many African referees have officiated at the FIFA World Cup. So I'm not being harsh on them when I mention the fact that they get excited when they go check the screen. But again, Sarafina, you need to understand that when they stand in front of the video assistant referee screen, that the one that is on the touchline, there's so many ways they see these incidents. Sometimes it is slowed in a point where the impact comes off harder than it actually was.
I talked about this. I talked about it.
Tony.
Yeah,
you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to say. I mean, when you slow down the action, it looks worse than in real time.
Of course.
And referees, I think that they need to understand the interpretation. It's beyond slowing it down. It's looking at the eventual impact. There are so many things to look at. Back to you.
Yeah, so many things to look at. The intent, if there was thoughts high up, depends on the incident. We've seen players get sent off for off the ball incidents, and I think that's where the VAR comes in perfectly and the whatnot. But as regards to those controversial calls we've seen at the African Cup of Nations, I don't think the referees have effectively made use of the video assistant referee. And in all fairness, you also want to call them some slack, Sarafina, and that's why I don't sound like I'm going hard on them. Most of the guys who are in the VAR room are making use of this system for the first time. Yes, they had pre-tournament training. Samuel touched on that also. There were rules and regulations, updated laws of the game that were shared to the players. Each footballing nation in Cameroon had moments where they had CAF officials visit their hotels, their training camp, to amplify the rules and let them know that this equates to a yellow card, this equates to a red. But we know all of these are on paper. When the action is live, it's all on the referee.
Absolutely.
How we decide in that instant to interpret the rule. And sadly, we haven't seen perfection at the African Cup of Nations, but we've seen some great officiating. The man who took charge of that game between Equatorial Guinea and Mali, fantastic. And
Gassama.
Was he Bakary Gassama? And, I think we've seen decent officiating. It hasn't been all bad, but some of the games where we had questionable calls, unfortunately for CAF and the LOC, are games involving nations with huge football fan base.
Off the mic, we're having a conversation. There was a conversation between Sam and Tony, and talking as regards that sending off of Cape Verde goalkeeper in that game against Senegal. And Sam tried making a case for the referee, saying that
the concussion.
That if you look at the intent of the goalkeeper, Mane went for the ball, but the goalkeeper was more like going for Sadio Mane himself.
You want me to respond to Sam's opinion on what I think about the red card?
What do you think?
Yeah.
About the red card?
Yeah.
To the Vosinha.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to the commentary. Of course, we're not at the stadium. That game went down in Bafoussam. So I was listening while watching the fixture. That's what I do. And I could feel Olisa. It was Olisa and Brownish who were on that particular fixture. And the pain in his voice, how surprised he was as a commentator, seeing the referee dish out a red card to a player who was obviously concussed. And it also affected Sadio Mane, even if he got up and eventually scored the goal and had to be taken off because I don't think the physios did well enough in their appraisal. I didn't think it was a red card. I genuinely thought the both players went for the ball. I'm not sure the angle Sam saw. He's got VR. Maybe they've bought that equipment at Kuwazuba in front. I'm not aware of. I know you guys want to take me off my position. So there's treason going on in that company. So maybe you guys have acquired VAR and I'm not aware of. But I genuinely didn't think that the VR, the Cape Verdean goalkeeper was intentional about going into Sadio Mane. It was a 50-50 collision, and in instances like this, you've got to be cautious when making. It was a harsh red card, and I didn't think it should have been sent off.
Still talking about Senegal, they will be taking on Equatorial Guinea. But first, let's look at how they've played so far. Despite leading by 10 men, by 11 men. Remember, at some point it was one player was issued a red card early in that first half. They struggled to convert. They struggled to put the ball in the back of the net, and it was after the Cape Verde side was reduced to 9 men. That was when they managed to break the deadlock, score the first goal in that particular game. Now they are going to the next round of the tournament. Do you think we are going to see a better Senegalese side, or is going to be the same scrappy win kind of Senegalese side?
I think any manager at AFCON 2021 would take a scrappy win as long as you win the trophy. Even Aguafo himself could have taken a scrappy win more than playing beautiful football. That's the essence of playing in a competition. It is to win, not to develop your players. But that said, they've got good news. Earlier today, saw pictures from the Senegalese camp of Sadio Mane and the gym, so he will be past fit to start. They need all of their players. They've got an abundance of talent. Aside from the Ivorians, I think the Senegalese team, potpourri of brilliance. So I think they're favourites against Equatorial Guinea, who are surprisingly still in this competition. And the defending champions are out. The best team in the group stage is out. The Ghanaians are out. So the Ivorians with the plethora of talents also out. I think it will be quite a surprise if they are able to beat Mali, which they've done, and somehow find a way to navigate their way beyond the Teranga Lions. I don't see it happening, but it's an AFCON tournament that you'd be quite bored to make calls of potential outcome. Now you just want to sit back and enjoy the games and not make predictions, except obviously it's your country playing. So by virtue of quality, I think Senegal slightly would edge it. It's not going to be 3-4 goals. I don't think we'll see that again in this competition. It will be very cagey, but by virtue of experience and that singular factor that might come to play, that is Sadio Mane, I think they will take it. But if it goes into penalties, then anything can happen.
Talking about the host, Cameroon, it was not an easy victory for them in their last game against what's the name of this country again? Comoros. It was not an easy one for them, and they will be taking on debutants Gambia in the next round of the tournament. You go back to that, how they played in that game against Comoros. A lot of people have been coming out to say Comoros should be the team of the tournament because of the kind of performances we saw from them on that night, having an outfit player man the goalpost for them and the rest of it. You look at how Gambia, they've been playing so far in this tournament, taking on the host who's been in brilliant form as well. Do you think that Gambia stands a chance of knocking the host out of this tournament?
Well, I'd be surprised if you haven't played the insert of
Tom Sophia
of the press conference earlier today. So I'm not sure how clear this would be, but I just allow those who tune in to listen to the coach of the side, Tom Senford, the Gambian manager, who's such a delight to listen to speak. I enjoy managers who are press conference worthy and vox pop merchants. Not how this clears, but how this is clear. So I'm just going to use the text. We were at the press conference earlier today, and it was the Gambians who came first, the captain of the side and coach Tom Senford, and the Cameroonians came later. You could ooze confidence from the team. You could see how easy and relaxed the manager was during the press conference. A couple of questions were asked. Our colleague from Abuja, Shodi, asked about a potential plan B, because somehow it seems teams have now found that the Gambians like to attack and take shots from distance. And he mentioned how they also do have extra plans, but he will stick with his style of play, as he's put out since the tournament started. And he also mentioned the fact that there's been complaints, Sarafina, about the turf here in Douala, and how not so quality. And that was my best response I've heard a manager say. And he said it was utterly useless, his words, not mine,
Wow.
for any coach to complain about the state of the pitch. And the players themselves are professionals, so whatever they're taking to play, they should be able to adapt to the situation. He made reference to the Premier League in the 70s, the 80s, even the early 90s, how not so perfect the playing surface was. So for him, however the tough is, he doesn't really care. And he also emphasized the fact that the Cameroonians are favorites by virtue of playing at home and the fact that, in his words, they have been the best team in this competition. I do not agree, but it's Tom saying fit and, eulogize the organization as a whole. So what I saw during the press conference is a team with confidence. And the first 15 minutes were open to journalists and fans. Was also one that, Sarafina, why I tell you that this man is so confident is the rules during the African Cup of Nations is the first 15 minutes for the team training is open to journalists. So you could interview players, you could do video recordings, etc. After that, everyone is chased out and they focus on the training. While they mentioned that during the press conference, Tom Saintfiet, who's the coach of the Gambian team, said, I don't care. That you could all stay and cover the training for as long as we're here. That's what we want, and it just shows you a manager who's not afraid to display his tactics.
So Emmanuel, I need you to hang in there because Zeta is calling.
All right.
with our head of sports, Emmanuel Etim. Emmanuel, we are back. Are you there? Hello, Emmanuel.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you were telling us about the Gambian side and their manager.
Yes, I was. Also decided to switch position. Yes. So, and he mentioned something about how he didn't care if the press had to stay longer to observe their training session. He was fine with it. So he just showed you confidence. They know they are underdogs, which means they would play well, which means the Cameroonians, every ball they have, they've got to make it count. And, while we walked back into the hotel, the receptionist, who, by the way, is a Nigerian, but walks here, said, you guys, tomorrow you'd see how jam-packed this place is, and we could feel it, we could sense it, and that might just somehow play in the advantage of the Cameroonians. So also it could affect their performance, because if you've got almost 30,000 plus people cheering you against a team that is hard to beat, the Gambians have been one of the best teams in this competition, Sarafina, so I don't think it would come easy for the Cameroonians. But when it was time for Cameroonian manager his pre-match conference, it was hard to ask him a question, but the few who did, his response was they know the importance of tomorrow's game, and they cannot wait to play. So the two teams are ready. I don't think it's going to be easy, but just slightly, like I mentioned during the Senegal fixture, I think by virtue of being the home side, by virtue of having a top scorer who somehow feels like this is his competition, they just might have the edge. And it's important to mention that during their training session this evening rather, Samuel Eto'o, who's FECAFOOT president, was present. He's always been with the team, and he journeyed from Yaoundé down to Douala. He was at the training session yelling at the players also. So he's like a proxy manager for the Cameroonian side as they get set to play tomorrow.
Egypt versus Morocco, what do you see?
I don't see anything.
You really don't see anything now.
I think that game would be. I'm losing words, but I think it would be incredible, because you've got the best player on the continent, and his Egyptian side who are gradually finding their rhythm after they lost to Nigeria in the opening game, and against a Moroccan team who are primed for a first triumph in decades. Moroccans are a team. The Egyptians are a team with the advantage of having Mohamed Salah. It would be a fixture, Sarafina. It's hard to call it 50-50.
Can I get your 4 semi-finalists before I let you go?
All right. Can you read out the fixtures again?
Okay, I can. Cameroon versus Gambia. Burkina Faso.
I think Gambia.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Can I take them one after you mentioned them?
Okay.
So I didn't forget.
Cameroon, Gambia.
I think Gambia would qualify.
Gambia ahead of Cameroon.
Yes.
That's shocking, though. Burkina Faso versus Tunisia.
Burkina Faso. I wanted Tunisians out of the competition. Burkina Faso.
Is this the biased part of you speaking?
Yes. Yeah, but again, it's not just bias. You've seen the Burkina Faso team play. There's coup going on in Burkina Faso, so everyone is angry, and they'll take that vexation onto the pitch. Yeah.
Egypt, Morocco.
I don't know. I'm sitting on the fence.
Senegal, Equatorial Guinea.
Senegal will qualify. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Samuel has got a question for you, Emmanuel.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
Okay.
Good evening to you. I don't know if to say well done. You're supposed to be the one telling me well done, but
no, anyway, this part I'm a reporter, so you can say well done.
Yeah, yes. And it's always lovely to see you, in front of the camera. But 2 questions actually. First off, follow through from what Sarafina had mentioned about the host nation, Cameroon. Tony Conceição, the manager, has been quite in some sort of bullish form, but when you look at the so-called pre-tournament favorites, Nigeria, Algeria, going through, what's the feeling like in Cameroon? You obviously have been in Garoua, now in Douala. I mean, are there expectations that this could be yet another time for Cameroon to lift that trophy, since the big boys have been knocked out of the competition? And secondly, before the competition, there was this bad perception, if I can use that word, from foreign media as to the African Cup of Nations, most notably Jurgen Klopp speaking about it in terms of it being a little tournament. I mean, with the quality of the football you've seen, organization from Cameroon as well, to what degree would you say this AFCON tournament has gone in answering those critics?
I'll start with your latter question. This is a brilliant question as always. I work with some of the finest minds in the industry. The last one was one of the reasons why my question wasn't about tomorrow's game during the press conference when I had the opportunity of asking Tom Saintfield. It was about organization. And I had to ask that question because they are one of the few teams who've toured Cameroon. Their opening game was in their group games were played in Limbe, and then they won their round of 16 fixture in Bafoussam, and now they're in Douala to play against Cameroon. Hopefully, they will journey to Yaoundé for the semi-final. And it was important to ask him what he thought about the organization. And, he mentioned just a bit of a downside, but referenced majorly his satisfaction with the overall organization, the hotel, the routes leading to stadiums, and general organization. He gave it a 90%. I also sensed that insight. So, and I genuinely want to agree with him. I have been able to go to 3 cities, transit Yaoundé, lived in Garoua, and visiting Douala. So I can speak by virtue of these cities, and also some of the journalists who've been to Yaoundé who are now in Douala because of the host nation. And it's been positive reviews. I've got to mention it's just the only major snack, Sam, was that incident at the Olembe Stadium that had fans, some passing out, others unfortunately losing their lives, including children under the age of 12. That's just the only blemish at AFCON 2021, and some of the porous officiating we've seen, which is not peculiar to the African system. So I think overall, managers of the Jürgen Klopp, who would always reference the fact that his statement was taken out of context, it's not a little tournament. African players at the moment are dominating the global scene. Top 5, you'd find African players roped around the conversation. The best goalkeeper in the world is an African, he's Senegalese, and Mohamed Salah can stand shoulder to shoulder at the moment with Cristiano Ronaldo and the magisterial one Messi. You could also rope in Lewandowski, and Sadio Mane could say a few things. So I think we've got not a perfect AFCON in terms of organization, but a safe AFCON. Most of the journalists who traveled and those who refused to come to Cameroon did that not because it was expensive. It's a freaking expensive country to live in or cover events in, but because of safety reasons. And I mean, it took me a while to agree to be part of this coverage, genuinely, and not because I didn't think we were going to win. Oh, I had hopes that the Eagles were going to play as far as the final. But was it safe to come to Cameroon? And in the first 3-4 days when we arrived, where, some of the earliest people to touch down, we arrived on the 8th, just the day before the opening game. There were reports that 3 Algerian journalists got mugged here in Douala, and an incident where one had to lose his passport. Nigerian journalists who journeyed straight to Garoua almost had their phone snatched. So there have been pockets of incidents of insecurity, but on a larger scale, the government, they've done well enough to see that this is a successful tournament. But yes, the blemish would remain post-AFCON 2021, the incident in Olembe, and it was perfect timing for the CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, to just come out the day after with a press conference held at the Ahidjo Stadium, I'll master the name in a bit, in Yaoundé, and discontinue matches in Olembe and transfer the games to the other stadium there in Yaoundé. So I think I've been satisfied with the organization. I went in for the first time to the stadium today, the Japoma Stadium, and Sam, I said something, and I'm going to say this. I said it, speaking to Jovita, Rotimi, and Jide, who works with a newspaper company in Nigeria. And I said, if you embezzle money to build a stadium like this, I would applaud you. You could say you spent $50 billion to build this stadium, and I won't bat an eyelid because it's to perfection. Not the playing surface, still has a few patchings to be done, but the edifice, the press center, it's a beauty to behold. It was designed with the bed nest, the Uyo templates, the Allianz Arena template. It's beautiful. The stadium in Olembe, which is the headquarters of arenas in Cameroon, is one of the finest on the continent too. So, and the Garoua Stadium, pitch perfect. It's like the San Siro. So in terms of infrastructure, security, bar that incident in Olembe, they've done well. To your first question about expectations from Cameroonians, they are hopeful. They thought it was Nigeria that were favorites until we got knocked out. No one gave the Ghanaians the chance to excel here in Cameroon. More tilted towards Algeria until they got knocked out. And a few are mentioning Egypt. Why Egypt is coming up is because of Mohamed Salah. And it's not surprising. If he's still in this competition, he single-handedly can decide where the trophy would go. Stay in Yaoundé or go back to Alexandria or Cairo, wherever they want to celebrate from. But yes, the locals here are hopeful, and that's why I think tomorrow, before 2 p.m., this place will be locked off.
All right, Emmanuel, it's been nice talking to you. Thank you very much. Please don't finish the money. Don't eat all the fish in that place.
It's finished. It's finished. Nothing. We're coming via boats to Lagos. From Douala to Calabar is like 3 hours in the sea.
Oh, really?
So just
You see now.
Yeah.
You see.
That's nice.
We need money. Bring the remaining money. Let's flex it here. Don't
If they
be
say
There's no
make
money
una
now,
fly,
you give me
me una
money.
use save some money.
All right, thanks, guys.
Emmanuel,
I gotta
just
find
before
food
you
to eat.
leave, yes,
Bye-bye.
please. You're looking for food, Emmanuel. I have a spot for
No,
you.
I have food. I have suya and I have wine.
Wow, wow.
I would have
You never
recommended.
drink wine for that side. It's over.
Emmanuel,
See
I would
reporter.
have, I would have
Add it
recommended
in
a spot
your,
for
in your
you.
eventual reports to the management. Put it there.
Suya and wine.
Bye-bye, guys.
All right, the voice of Emmanuel Etim there giving us update from Cameroon and the rest of it. So, time to go to the phone line 0700 993 993 993. I need you to give me your 4 semi-finalists. 0700 993 993 993 for the ladies. 01 46 57 190. Please, when you call in, do it to turn down the volume of your radio set. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sarafina.
You